laying down. We've done a lot of work.
Usually, yeah. My goal at the beginning of quarantine was to be start moving by like 9:30, like be up off the couch. But somehow we're working through lunch from the couch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like we're still working for one of our gyms too. So we've been a lot there, which has been kind of fun, but it's almost more work just because it's all like personal interaction, like via social media or text message. So it's been kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like interesting how you stay busy because there's like always like content creation, different things like that. But I mean, that's why I'm excited, about this conversation. Just question I'm going to ask you because how old are you all? Are you in like your early 20s?
We like to average our age out to 26.
Okay.
I'm 23.
I'm 30.
You're 30? Okay, I just turned 32 this year. So, but just like being women in the industry, mindset, different things like that, just kind of pick your brains about some things. But I like that you are like generating ideas, like always thinking about something, how can I help people? How can I tailor it to them versus like, this is my way or the highway type thinking. So, all right, cool. Well, I already started recording, but I'm going to like do my intro and stuff like that. And then after I do my intro, I'll just say to you guys, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to let Tonii and Haley introduce themselves and then you can take it how you want. Did I pronounce your names right?
We can introduce each other.
Oh my God, do that. Hey, this is your platform. Just let's have some fun. So
cool.
All right. 3. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of At the Barbell. I'm your host, Shelby Ann. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. You could spend your time anywhere else and you pick to choose to listen to this podcast. And today I have 2 special guests with me. I have Tonii and Haley. I met them through CrossFit and we've never really talked face to face. We've seen each other at competitions and different things like that. I started following them on Instagram. And it's been great to see their journey. And selfishly, I wanted to have them on the podcast just to pick their brains. And, on all this quarantine, it's just going to be nice to have, different things to listen to, get a different perspective on things. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Well, do you want me to introduce you? I can introduce
However you want to roll with this.
That makes you more comfortable. We're not going to,
Okay.
So this is Tonii. I don't know. Am I supposed to say anything about you?
I don't know. I hope you have a lot to say about me.
Yep.
Okay. I'm Haley.
I'm Tonii.
Boom.
Nice. And where do you all currently reside?
Well, we're both in Geneseo currently during the quarantine.
I quarantined myself with her.
It seems like my husband's still he's essential and he's usually working until about 8:00 at night right now because he's in the egg community, so he's keeping us fed.
Nice.
But I live in Geneseo and Haley lives in the Hamptons.
Live in Hampton, Illinois.
Oh, sorry, forgot.
Nice.
Call it the Hamptons.
We call it the Hamptons.
That's really why I friended you, but I didn't want to tell you that.
Very luxurious oceanside condo.
It's a good view of the tracks.
That's
I look at a hardware store.
The train tracks.
You can almost see the Mississippi River.
Beautiful view. So both of you ladies are, into coaching. Where do you all coach at currently?
We coach at CrossFit Fort Byron and Aberrant CrossFit in Eldridge.
Nice. And, what are some things that you do with those gyms there? Because I know that you had come up with your own programming and design and different things. So how are you, not only what do you do with those gyms, but how are you able to plug yourself into those gyms? Maybe kind of like, start with, I should say, like a little background about you two and just, you can go off of each other, but how you got started into coaching, when you two met each other, kind of how things started to snowball to where you're at today.
So I started coaching in Geneseo at Maple Leaf CrossFit. I was about an athlete for not even a year and I decided to go get my L1. Okay. And then honestly, I just kind of fell into coaching. I was more interested in opening a box originally, and just got my L1 to do that route, but did some shadowing, and then just kind of that other thing fell through, so just continued on through coaching somehow. It's the last place I would have ever imagined myself. Then wanted to grow as an athlete, so ended up in the Quad Cities at one of the gyms, and ended up taking a full-time position there, and that's where we met.
Okay. And Haley, were you currently coaching at the time, or were you the transition kind of like with Tonii, like athlete
I have
L1?
very interesting. So I actually started CrossFit when I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And then I took like a desk position to like help with paperwork to help me, pay for my membership and stuff because I was in school. And then as an athlete, I just like got very interested in not really coaching as much as like movement. But then I started coaching, and Tonii actually mentored me for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, maybe it felt like. Just like shadowed every like PT session, every class she coached at that job. And then from there, I don't know, we kind of fell into our position very like organically with the gyms we're at now. We just like knew people. CrossFit Port Byron, it was interesting. We're very like intrigued with the gym just because, I don't know, in the Quad Cities we didn't hear a lot about it, so we decided to stop in one day, and then they also needed help, and then we just, I don't know, grew from there.
Yeah.
Some of our programming though, like all that, when we were working together at our first gym, it was kind of like our job to work with clients one-on-one, and as well as do large classes, and then kind of create, pretty much be everything: a nutritionist, a personal trainer, a life coach, and all of those things. So we just decided to work smarter, not harder, and collaborated. And that's kind of where our stuff began. Before working at the gym where we met, I worked for the state, and I guess just at my old job, I suppose, I would like on my breaks and everything start like jotting down notes and everything. Like I've always kind of ran accountability groups and wellness clubs elsewhere. So I just kind of took that and implemented it into what I was doing, and she was just like, hey, like, can I try that? And then we again decided to work smarter, not harder, and work together, and everything else just kind of flourished for us.
It was like kind of interesting because we, did CrossFit together, and then we just got kind of busy, overwhelmed, I don't know, and we started strength training, and we did a lot of like conjugate method, and we learned just so much about ourselves through that training that we started implementing like bands, chains, power lifts into like our Olympic lifts. And I don't know, I think just like our training that like year or two is kind of where we formed our idea of fitness.
Nice.
And you've been CrossFitting for a while. I mean, everybody goes through in like, waves of like, oh, I can like do this now. It's always the same in wellness, fitness, or whatever, just like staying on track. And at the time, like neither one of us could really do the really intense, like mental, physical workouts. So, and then we were also like, having to eat out a lot. So it's like, okay, how do we balance this? So we kind of went more towards like the heavy volume powerlifting, and got into she said, the bands and chains and everything. And just to kind of balance it out a little bit, because it's like, if you're going to be consuming more food, might as well be putting on a little bit of muscle mass at the same time. And I don't know. And then we were having fun with that. We've always had fun with that. And we've always found the most success in accessory work ourselves. And like, I struggled so much since I think my numbers stayed the same from like my second year of CrossFit, like on squats and everything, up until like this last year. And the only difference like that I've made is like focusing on my weaknesses with the accessory work. And like, that's what's literally worked for both of us. So we're like, here's the magic pill, guys.
Yeah. So like years to like try it and then like develop what works best for us. And then we started implementing that with like our clients and whoever like believed in what we had to do, really. It's like, hey, try this.
It's like, if it's gonna work for me, it's gonna work for everyone, because I got a very messed up body.
Yeah, and it's what I like about that is, a lot of people, and I'm kind of in the same boat, with starting my own online coaching programs, different things like that, just to help people and like tailor things to them. But what you guys did too, and kind of my adventures, is like I've been coaching for like maybe pretty much along like my whole life, but last 7 years of it being like my full-time job. And, with you ladies too, like you went through the trenches, you've tried this out, you figured out what works for you. And now you're like, hey, I have something that helped me and I want to bring it to others. And it's not only that you have that, but then you have ways to go about doing it to tailor it a little bit to their needs. And then also you have the personality that goes with it, because you truly want to facilitate change in people and help them, because you were in a place where you were like, I'm kind of in pain. This isn't working for me. What can I do to tailor it? But I like how you said that you had fun, because life's always going to throw something at you. But like, how can you overcome adversary? And that's what I've been saying to myself. Like right now, it's like, what's going on? But like, how can we overcome this and do what we have? And I mean, it's maybe getting a little nerdy, but like with your muscles, you both know this, is like with higher reps, you can still get a good return, especially for your weaknesses. Your strength can only get so strong, and if you rely on them, then your weaknesses still stay, weakness. And I like how y'all, like, how you said, Tony, it's like we knew what our strengths were, right? But how can we work on our weaknesses? Because who likes accessory work?
We literally like make quotas for ourselves every month that it's just like stuff that we're really bad at. Like always, we always like are working on things that we hate or we're bad at, and we hold each other accountable to it.
What I've seen, some of your quotas, because you are very vulnerable too on Instagram, which is so nice because it brings that realness to it. You're not doing this for the money. You're not like selling products, you just like bring people into your life. And that's also something like really awesome to see, you guys go through the trenches as well. So what are some of your quotas? Because your number schemes are up there, but you gave yourself a month. So what were some of the rep schemes and the movements you're working on?
Because it's just for us, we usually just set like, okay, we're going to do like, I don't know, we do like, usually push-ups or pull-ups are in the monthly quota. So we'll just go with that. Mm-hmm. So, 1 month we just had a goal to just do the push-ups. We set a number like 120 a week. That way we've done that for the month before, but then we realized we wait till the very end of the month.
We have to do like 700
and it kind of defeats the purpose.
So we learned the hard way. We had to do like 860 kettlebell swings once in
We're
one
committed.
day.
We do what we say we're going to do, but we wanted to be better. So I was like, how do we fix that? Okay, so now it's like weekly, so we can't put it off that long. So we'll do like 120 push-ups a week, and maybe like if they seem easy, like we never do the same reps or sets, but we don't have to like actually like plan that out. It's just like, okay, this is how I broke it up today, and I'll usually tell her, and usually we'll do the same thing. Otherwise, if we need to switch it up specifically for ourselves, we will. Push-ups are getting easy, so we make them more difficult, like putting our hands on plates or weighting them, or just doing like a lot of like eccentric movement, or like down and up, holding a plank before doing them. That just made them harder. But then
we like to kind of challenge ourselves the most with like holds and like negatives and stuff like that, just because like that's how we've gotten stronger. Just like our bodily awareness has grown, which makes the movement stronger. So we do a lot of that, which sucks. Like it's awful. It's why people don't do it. But we've learned that is what makes us strong. So
preach it to the choir. Can I just reiterate what she said? If you're all listening, rewind, and saying that isometric holding and stability work do help with your strength gain, but nobody wants to do that, but tempo work is so beautiful because it's time under tension. It's getting you to understand your muscles, that mind, that body connection. I know it sounds really hippie, but it makes a huge difference. And when you can connect that, movement becomes, not only easier, but more efficient, that you can do, heavier weight and not have to think about it or strain too much. I'm, another thing that drew me to you both is like, I'm huge on movement, technique over anything. I don't care if you squat 600 pounds. How did you look doing it? And I don't know how do you look, how do you feel? Do you feel like shit? Then you probably should not be.
Well, I think
that's the worst.
It would really surprise people because a lot of our training, like our day-to-day training, is very lightweight, like 12-pound dumbbells and like a very light band, and just reps, time under tension, lots of rounds. Like it is very like everyone wants to hold a heavy barbell, but like like Tonii always says, like she uses it as a test, and that's kind of how we go about it. So like day to day, it does not look fun. Like if we were to truly like take people to work out with us day to day, they would be like probably bored. We just like make the best of it. Like it's what we need, and so we do it. It's like
I can tell you one thing: I would not be bored because I would either listen or talk your all's ear off. Just like different things. But with that, so I really like that you reiterated on that, because you talked a little bit about in your journey how you were still strong while incorporating those things. So is this something, it's like a warm up before your strength to prime your muscles, or is there a day like in your training, could you maybe reiterate like how many days you train and kind of, how you go about putting that in, or, kind of like how your weekly training goes, I should say?
It's kind of funny. So like we wake up and we get into the gym and we're like, what should we do today?
Yeah.
And then it's like, we haven't done this in a while. Or like
what feels good?
This could feel nice. Like it is day to day. I don't know, try to work out every day. I would say like every fifth.
When my back, like, day. When your back's hurt, just don't work your back out. Maybe do your core instead.
Yeah. If we're very good at like listening to our body, like if we need to rest, we rest. I don't know. Like if I'm not feeling like if I feel sick or anything, like I won't like train. I'm not like a diehard. I think my body kind of deserves respect after me training.
And when you had that mindset change, did you feel that everything started to fall into place more when you started to listen to your body and kind of like respect it more, understand it, and needed rest, or like Tonii, you were saying, if your back's hurting, really focus on your core. Was that, when you were kind of putting some realizations together of, eating more, like eating out more and doing powerlifting and those things coming together? Like, when did you have that realization to start listening more to your body?
I've always been more like, I don't like to like hate on myself for not being able to do something. It's not fun when you're like, I can't do it. And like, that's been my problem. Like why I started to have an issue with CrossFit was because I couldn't pick up the barbell that everybody else could to do that I should be able to do with like how long and where my strengths were in certain things. And like it without it being uncomfortable, like extreme, like I wasn't having fun doing the workouts because I couldn't move and I wasn't getting better. And for me, my goal has always been be better than yesterday, always like progress in some way. Like that doesn't mean a 1 rep max or whatever, but if I'm obviously not seeing improvement on my front squat, then it's going to affect my power clean or my squat clean and all these other things. And it just wasn't fun anymore. So for me, the mental part is like, it should be fun. Like, this is why I started CrossFit. This is why I'm a coach, or why I got into this, because I loved it. And I'm not like, I wasn't passionate about it anymore. And I'm like, I had taught like an older like class for a couple of years, and that really changed my mindset. It was like to watch them and like see them improve with age when they only came in to like not go backwards. Like that was the thing that helped me the most to like really see that, oh, it's not about like you go into the gym to get better outside of the gym most of the time, unless you're like a gym athlete, a fitness athlete. And so to have that, like I absolutely needed that. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like this is supposed to be fun. And,
yes,
like at the end of the day, it should still be fun. You should still progress. Like I have these 70 and 80-year-olds still progressing, and like that, they didn't even expect to see the joy on their face. I'm like,
age is just a number. Age is just a number. It's your mindset.
Yes.
I am like, here, I'm listening. Like, I don't feel, when I think about me being 32, I'm like, what the fuck happened? How did I become 32? Like, yes. When I blink my eyes and I turn, because I don't feel 32 and people don't think I'm 32. And, I understand like wear and tear comes with age, but y'all, your mindset is so stronger than you think. And I'm reading this book. If you all haven't read it, it's called Mindset by Carol D. Wick. And it's awesome because she talks about growth mindset versus fix. And we all have both of them, but it's like, how can you take your mindset and just keep progressing and knowing that it's trial and error until you die? Like, and I like how you said, Tonii, it's like, things that used to bring you fun aren't going to bring you fun the rest of your life. And I don't know why all of a sudden it's like we wake up and become adults and we don't dream and imagine and explore. Like, excuse me, listen, hashtag big kid whole time. I'm like exploring, I'm adventuring, I'm like doing things, I'm going to test drive stuff. I mean, it's just fun. And like watching guys on Instagram, like you just enjoy life and you spread that to others. And we need that more than ever. And it just takes a very unique individual to do that. Not saying that like, people like that are the best humans ever. It's just that we look at things through a very like optimistic growth mindset and like, okay, I did this, but now I can even try that.
Mm-hmm. I think like imagining, like play is very important to us. Like it is very important for us to like have fun, and like we don't have to prioritize it, but I mean it's helpful in our like day-to-day life, like in the gym, for our jobs. Like we do need to be creative, we do need to have an imagination, we do like last minute need to switch things, and in order to do that, like our brain has to be like, I don't know, able to create things on the fly.
Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between a good coach and a great coach. Like you always see how you can tweak people and you're not like focused on, one thing. You're always looking at the big picture. It's a very systematic thinking. Like when I used to coach, I would coach 17 classes a week. And I know you ladies are kind of like up there with the amount of coaching you do because you write the programming for the gyms and then you travel all over. I've seen your schedule you put up there. I was like, damn, that's some moving. And it just takes that like special person to, have that energy and, be consistent with being yourself. But it's a joy to do that. But let me tell you, on Friday, I was tired. I was like exhausted. I like exacerbated, pretty much my mental thinking. And then it's like, I need to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a fun, different way. But I like that you said play. And I think that humans just need to play more, or like find the fun. And just reiterating what you said, Tonii, is like, say that you join CrossFit and you've been doing it for 7 years and it doesn't bring you joy. And now maybe it's just more body weight and like higher reps because your body is a little sore and it needs some rest. You're not going to lose your gains. And that's the thing about strength. When you build a muscle, I mean, it stays true. Yes, there's atrophy, like if you just don't do anything. But if you just kind of like maintain and, do maybe lighter weight, higher reps, I mean, you're still going to stay around that 70, 80% of your strength, which is still amazing. But people just get to that concept. But I mean, maybe you both can agree is like that the fitness world is changing, and it's changed so much in the last year. But like even the last 5 years of like, CrossFit is more of bringing in like bodybuilding stuff and bands and accessory work versus like, all right, get in, half-ass a warm-up, ground and pound, meat pukey, let's get out. I'm like, listen, I'm about to be a part of this. I don't want to injure anybody. Like, I know they signed a contract, but like, no.
Well, and at the end of the day too, like people like generally get into fitness or a gym because they have a fitness or like physical goal of some sort. And so just pounding out those extreme workouts mostly doesn't always work for, just the average member of the gym. So having something a little bit more goal oriented with like the bodybuilding aspect and like, okay, strength over performance, I suppose, or mobility. I mean, that's a big one.
Right?
Yeah.
ROMWOD has been nice. Just going off of that. So when you both, I know you probably do a little different programming versus, programming for the masses. So how do you go about it? Because they have, in CrossFit, it's not like an age restriction. If they're opening the doors, so anybody wants to come in, but I think it's like, I don't know if you have an age limit and you can talk about that, but maybe like 18 and older or 16 that can go into a CrossFit gym, but like the cutoff age, and they have people at 5 a.m. that I have no clue what age they are, but they are still getting after it and modifying the workouts to their needs and just getting movement in their body. So question was, how do you program for the masses?
So we don't actually like do the program, like the gyms do their own programming, but unless we're working with people specifically, which we do the same thing that we do for ourselves, and that's like giving them a quota based on like their abilities and what they are doing. I think the biggest thing we try to do is like in our position is educate the people, like no matter what age they are, and trying to understand how their body is supposed to feel and how to take care of their body.
Yeah.
Specifically like focused on correct movement with the older group, especially like because pushing volume for them is going to be what ends up getting them out of the gym. And that's where my like little saying for like we come into the gym to get like to perform outside the gym, not to like ruin ourselves so we can't do anything outside or inside the gym. I started telling my older crew that and they're like, oh yeah. And like just being able to perform body movements well and control their body, like making them proud. But I don't know. Do you have anything to add about like the old?
Well, I think we focus on movement so much that it's always more about like how somebody is feeling day to day. So, a lot of people were always like injured, something bothered them. We were very creative at like substitutions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like creating the stimulus we need to create with movement, without a weight or with a different weight or with a band, or I think that's where a lot of like our play comes in, because like we do some weird stuff sometimes to like with bands and we're like, this will work that muscle group well enough.
We also do like, again, like to have fun with it, like so, and give a different option than another coach might give, because not a lot of coaches do anything with bands in CrossFit. I mean, some gyms are
it's kind of fun to like prove a point sometimes too, like, oh, you think the barbell's hard, like here, try this, and people are like,
we have that's many people
that's
about
just
that orange
a small band, and I'm like, I'll make it ruin you.
We're like, guys, let's grab a red or an orange band today, and then it's like probably orange, then everybody grabs red, and it's like, okay, well,
or like for warm-ups, like,
oh my god, that's so funny that you say that. And they're like, listen, grabbing a bigger band does not mean that you are more fitter. Jesus Christ.
And they're like,
and then you work those little muscles and you're like, what the hell did I just do to my body? And it's so funny because I was laughing so hard. It's like, when you get people even like the barbell or just like different things, bands, high reps, and they're like, what did I do?
It's just
sometimes what I like to do is like warm people up with a PVC pipe, and they go to like put it away and grab a barbell, and I'm like, no, keep that. And then I just like warm them up, hold a position, hold that, and they're like, like they get shaky, and I'm like, that's a PVC pipe.
Yeah. That's awesome, because it's just, I like the like exploration that you ladies both have of movements, and like, sometimes movements that work for us might not, work for somebody because maybe their inefficiency to use those muscles, different things like that. But you have like a huge toolbox and you're not afraid to trial and error. And that's where I love your both growth mindset about that, and not fixed of where, no, this is my way. And if you can't do it, you're wrong. You're like, okay, but I got something else for you. Okay, that didn't really, I got something else for you. But you never give up because one of them is going to work. You just maybe at the first time know that one right away. And then, the next time it's like, oh, that one worked. Maybe not for that person. I have this one. And you never give up. And that's the direction that we need to go in with coaching, and just showing people that you can't give up. The only time that you give up is when you're 6 feet under, however you want to, do.
Well, I think too, like you, like highlighting that with like, being a good coach, like, doesn't mean you have to have like all the answers. Like, you're allowed to go ask another person that if you don't know, like, and it's okay to like actually let members know that you don't know. Like, that's how we've grown. It's like, no, but I care enough that I am going to tell you I don't know. I'm going to go find the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's always about like showing somebody, like when somebody tells me they can't do something, it's like showing them that they're capable. Like, no, like you can, like, here's how, like, it's our job as coaches to like enable people and like show them, like prove them, like they deserve it. Like, you guys have worked for this. Like, you deserve to feel like you can. Like, you
absolutely
have to feel capable.
Absolutely, Grammy-winning speech right there. And, I mean, people need to remember, like you just said, to reiterate on that, like, you all have a purpose, and I'm sorry that somebody told you that you can't do something because, by golly, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Like, can't do everything at one time, and I like your all's time frame of, like, a week to 2 weeks, because if you think about it, there's 52 weeks in a year. And if you set weekly goals, it's 52 things you can achieve. If you do it bi-weekly, it's 26. And I don't know if you've all read this book, but another book, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I like it because I just like how he goes about explaining habits and facilitating them. And he gives more of an equation than steps. Mm-hmm. So you can plug it into good habits or habits you want to keep, and then bad habits or habits that are no longer serving the lifestyle you want to live. And I feel like people are so hung up on like, oh man, but like I was doing this wrong. No, you weren't. It's just not serving you in the direction that you want to go.
Yeah, it can be like daunting, to like have this thing like hanging over you when, like, I guess our approach, like, you just like wake up and you just like approach it and you just like do it. Like it's not like it's just baby steps. It's just like one day at a time. I don't know. Everyone wants like the quick fix, like, this is gonna be it, but like you have to take the steps. Like you have to wake up and just like
they learn. It might take some people longer, but they learn. Now, listen, I'm not saying that shit don't work. I've seen like Joe Bob and like Melinda like lose, weight in 6 weeks. But are we following up on them? How are they doing now? Like, and it's with you two, and what my approach is like, I'm going to teach you how to fish so that in 1 year, because that's kind of the program I'm developing, is a year-long program. And understanding to people that like, I need to get to know you, because no matter whatever age you are, I got like that many years to like figure out what you did, the trauma you have stored in your body, how you view yourself. And if you even just break down those walls and get people to view themselves as valuable, it breaks my heart how many people don't value themselves. It's just like this eureka thing. And, Haley, going back to what you were talking about when you were like, reiterating on, and you, Tonii, too, of you don't know something, you say you don't know it. And that's where like that vulnerability and humility come in the nicest way possible. It's like you are vulnerable and you like are telling yourself like, I don't need to know everything. And that's beautiful, because if you try to know everything, it's just going to feel so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Or thinking that you do, when it's like, oh, I know this, but I know a person that would have a good answer. Let me get back to you on that. I say that a lot too. So,
That's something too, like what I know is limited on this. Like I would love you to have a more thorough answer, like, and let me just grab you the person that's going to be able to give that knowledge to you like very quickly and even more elaborate.
Yes. Who are some of your mentors throughout your life? If you have a lot of them, maybe your top 3 people that have come into your life and, been your mentor. And it could be like a family, a friend, or anybody, but like 3 people, I should say. For me, of a mentor, it's somebody that came into my life and really made an impact. And not saying it was life-changing, and maybe it was a day, and maybe it's been, years, that person like really altered the way that you see things.
Gosh. Well, I think like first one would probably be my mom, just because she's very strong-willed and has like always instilled like the right morals within me to like guide myself. I feel like I've always been like a confident human, or like a confident in myself, but that hasn't always been like reflected from people viewing me. Like I feel like other people aren't confident in me. Yeah. And so it comes off as like, that's like, I don't know. There's somebody like, the next person that like comes into my head is when I was working at my, I worked for the state at the prison, and the person that I like came in under to fill their position, she was just very like, very strong-willed and confident in herself too, and just like believed in me. And she had like daughters and everything too. And but her name's Chris, and like I don't, just pure like support from like another like woman, I think too, that didn't even like have to do that. I think, but like as mentor, and like I think my mentors are more just like great like human beings that like help you grow.
Yeah.
Then like, and Haley, I think just being like a very just supportive friend. Like we are obviously have like a very great friendship that I don't know everybody actually has. Like I've never had a friend like her, and like having that support from another person, like you need that in life. Just somebody to believe in you and like work, especially when you work together, trust in each other and everything. So for me, those are what like my mentors are, just helping me grow as a person and a human being so I can help other people do that.
Yeah. Well, like Tonii actually was my mentor. Like, we grew up a lot together. So we've only been friends for like 3 years. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but we went through like a lot of life, and she taught me everything I know about fitness for the most part, or like I confided in her a lot to learn. And I think we just like grew together and just like evolved with each other. And I think that is like a big piece of not just like me as a coach, but like me as a human. Like I was very like elevated. Like I met her when I was like 18 or 19.
I think you were 20. Well, I don't know. I think we argued about this the other day, actually. It was like going on 20 when I first walked in.
I begged her to be my friend. Funny story. We were working together, and we both liked donuts and had messy hair, but like we never really talked. Not in like we just like didn't have time or whatever. And then after I think Urban Street Games one year, she was like walking by me and she like said hi, and I was like, you need to be my friend. You just like, let's be friends.
This was like an hour conversation, actually.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that.
Getting out of it.
I just begged her to be my friend.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not that hard to make friends with, but like, I'm actually like, if someone says I want to be your friend, I'm like, yeah, let's be friends.
Let's do this.
I
love that. But I like Haley, you're like, listen, I want you to be my friend, and I'm going after what I want. And I feel like people just don't do that often. Like, I think some think like organic happens, but
I would not do that ever. I am very shy. I don't interact with people like that, but I just like needed to be her friend. We both had messy hair. We both liked donuts. And I have 3 brothers, and I like grew up like, I don't know. I didn't like not have friends, but I didn't have anybody like very close to me. And I don't know, like a sisterly thing. Like she taught me a lot about like who I am, and like, I don't know.
And grew up an only child, so that's why it's really okay not having friends. So
yeah.
if that helps the situation.
No, I mean, you're like, our childhood really develops us into like kind of who we are as adults, like a lot, because we didn't know anything, and we were just like, what do I do with my hands? And, it's just like you're just kind of like exploration mode.
Yeah.
So. But that like bond between like the woman bond is amazing when you can have, whether it's with your mom or, just whoever that is, when you have that kind of connection with somebody, it's awesome, because it's that sense of relief that you can truly be 100% yourself, and this person just adores you for every quirk that you have. And sometimes a lot of people can't handle that, but when you find that person, I have that with one of my best friends, and we've been friends since college, 2006, and it's just like, I mean, it's just so nice to have that, relationship. But then also she was your mentor as well, and you built that awesome friendship off of that. So it's just cool to see your all's growth in your friendship.
And it's like we spend so much time together, and the fact that we've been living with each other for a month now, every day, and it doesn't like, it's just like, I don't know, it's like second nature. It's just like,
don't question it, just like Nike says, just do it.
It's like having a sister, but we don't even like fight or like argue. Like we just like have fun, like entertain ourselves. But I don't know.
Absolutely.
But as far as like mentors and like stuff like that, I think we form like friendships with people, and we just like people who support us, or like we can support, or just like having great people around, or like surrounding ourselves with the best people. I don't know.
I think it's like, honestly, the thing that gives us like hope that like what we're doing can like just ultimately pay off and matters in the end. Like, oh, there are good people out in the world. There are people that support each other and like for the right reasons. And I don't know, like if I were to look up to just we'll just say Rich Froning because this is a CrossFit blog. Like, not saying anything against Rich Froning. I just don't know him as a human being. And I mean, I just feel like there are more people deserving of like recognition, and I'm sure he's doing, you know, great things for himself and the world.
It's a lot of like people getting to know each other, and like, I don't know, that's hard. Like, it's not easy to just like get to know someone or like care about someone or accept somebody or somebody accept you, you know. There's so many pieces. I think it's, I don't know, it's like a weird puzzle. It's hard. It's not easy. Like, it's not easy to have like great relationships. It's just like fitness. I don't know. It's all like the same thing. Like, you have to work with it.
And it takes a little bit more work, especially, but like right now it's just a crazy time because we all have so much more time. It's just like, what do I do with all this time? Just like on house arrest, you know? But that like you still have to put work into anything that you do, but when you can find the joy and the fun in the work that you are doing, it's not work, and it's just something that you wake up and you enjoy doing and look forward to. Like, if you wake up every day and you do not like the job that you go to, I'm so sorry. Like, I've been there too, you know, and it's one of those things. It's scary to make big life changes, but when you do, that's where like the vulnerability and the growth come. You know, I've restarted my life more times than I thought I was going to, and I'm just like, and another one. You know. But the growth and, you know, the vulnerability that I found in that, you know, of thinking I knew everything and life kind of just slaps you in the face, and then understanding that you're always growing and you're always learning. And the thing about it is you have to do it with support and love. Like, I know that people are introverts and they can do it alone and like be by themselves. But with you two both being introverts, you show that having somebody there, you can still have your separate time and your alone time, but it's fun to have that support and feed off of each other and be there, you know, at the lows and the highs and everything. So, also, Haley, I want to talk to you. I have this picture up because I'm super jealous that you got to go to Mike Bergner's gym and lift with him, and you have a picture with him. I was like, girl, lift crush. So as we get close to wrapping things up, how did you know him? How did that happen?
So we went to the Olympic lifting seminar at CrossFit Mayhem, and Tonii and I and our friend Keisha, we all went together, and we were like the only 3 people that like didn't have our lifters, or like like we were the only people like there, like to learn. I don't want to say that, but like we just like wanted to learn. Like, everyone else like wanted to show off their lifts, and we like genuinely wanted like help and feedback and like to become better coaches through it. So we just like formed this weird bond with him. Like, they did an Instagram live video, and like it shows him like yelling at me, and Tony's like right next to me, and like she's trying not to laugh, and then like she starts laughing, then like I start laughing, and then Mike's like, what is going on? And then so
it's just kind of a little connection thing, and
he was like so entertained by like that we weren't taking it serious. Like, we weren't taking it like, I don't know, like we didn't have an ego. Like, we didn't walk in with an ego. He was like so excited that there were like people like genuinely, well, I don't know, I'm speaking for him, but like that's how I felt.
I think that's why we like, as like a coach, that's probably who we would say is like one of our mentors, because he just like, it's just fitness at the end of the day. Like, it's so like people make it like so shiny, and like it's very matter of fact. It's like you just have to do this thing, and it's just like jumping, and at the end of the day, and it's just, you know, like, and even though it's Olympic lifting, but
he simplifies everything, and like that's been helpful in our training. And he has like his geezers program, you know, like his friends come over, so
there's just so much life and wise wisdom that's just,
so we like stayed in contact with him. And then
Keisha has actually been interning down at Mayhem ever since. Like, they have like every 6 months they'll have a new program, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then so last year, I had gone down and interned under him. And then Haley was supposed to go, it fell through. And then she ended up going out to California and just reached out to him because he has like an open door policy basically. And then we were actually both supposed to go down and intern just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I don't know, whenever their mayhem one was supposed to be, but that fell through obviously.
Yeah.
But like I actually just like pursued Olympic weightlifting. I don't know what that means now because of quarantine. Like I made nationals. So I was supposed to go to North Carolina in June. I don't know if it's still happening, but I don't know. It was like whatever qualifiers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He was helping me and stuff and yelled at me a lot, which is good for me to grow.
He just really changed the game with coaching and his passion and his like no bullshit and just the way that he, gave that tough love to his athletes and was like, listen, you need to put in the fucking work. Like, you're cool and I think you're awesome, but like, you're just going to put in the work. And when you walk in and you don't have an ego, like you definitely stand out in the room, you have this like aura and energy about you. And I know it's kind of like hippie, but I do believe it. Like you put off that sense of like, you want to talk to people and it's inviting and a safe and fun place to talk to. I followed him back in college. A mentor of mine like led me onto him. And I was just like, I'm so jealous that you got to go and hang out with him.
I like walked in his garage and we were like going over numbers and stuff and he was like, how many kilos are you? Like, so he could like put me in a weight class. And I was like, I only know like, this is how much I weigh in pounds. He's like, bullshit. You need to know kilos. And so like, everything is in kilos. It's so good.
I would just prefer kilos, but I mean, I'm just like, everything's pounds. So why am I like with kilos?
Kilos is a lot easier, I think. I mean, it's hard to calculate. Tony's been learning kilos by the colors of plates.
I just pay attention to the plates. I'm like, I have a green plate today. Woo!
Right?
I get really, I'm like, I don't know what it means, but.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I hate to cut us off, but definitely have to have like a part 2, part 3, just have you guys back on. But, just to wrap things up is, listen to their journey and where they started and the years that they put in before they, were telling people about it. And it's hard nowadays with everything so online that you can see so many people, at one time or, just see what they're posting on social media, but don't get caught up in the noise. Don't let it be louder than what's inside your head. You can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 20 in that, be vulnerable and ask questions and try new things, be adventurous. And if you don't know something, reach out. And that's why a coach is so important because it's that person, it's a safe place, it's that accountability, it's that support system that you might be missing. And a lot of times, that's the missing link between a lot of things. And you will find coaches out there that are not good. And you'll find coaches that are great because they care and you can tell that they care. They might not have, the most fastest program, but that doesn't mean it's not good. And the last thing is that you don't have to see fitness as a way to crush your body. That, our body's the only thing that we have and movement's so beautiful. We want to keep moving, for the rest of our life and, going with that ebb and flow. Sometimes you can lift heavy and sometimes you need to back off and listening to your body. So, Tonii Haley, what would be, just a little snippet that you want to leave with the listeners today?
I wanted you to go.
Whoa.
Haley, you go first. I'm going to pick.
I don't.
She always does things so beautifully. I'll just let her do it.
Just speak from your heart.
I don't know. I don't.
30-second elevator pitch.
Chance. Just give yourself a chance. Yeah. Don't feel like you can't do something, whether it's fitness or any, like, just be. I think our biggest thing lately is like being more vulnerable. So people like so other people feel like it's okay to be vulnerable. Like we might look like idiots. Like it's fine. Like we're happy to expose ourselves to make other people feel okay doing that. And I think that's literally like our entire thing is like we just want you to be better, and like if you have to be vulnerable to be better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And just like fitness, life, whatever. It's just like every day, like you just have to try to be a little better. Like you have to find it in yourself to like put effort into that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't just like happen. Like you can't pay a coach and they're just gonna like make you better. Like it's your shot.
Absolutely. Everything in life is work, and you just have to find the fun in the work and the beauty in the work. But if you want something, no matter what, you have to work for it. So thank you, ladies, for coming on today. I definitely appreciate it. You can find them at Coach Tonii and Haley on Instagram, and then both of their personal Instagrams are in that account. So thank you all for joining. Your time is very valuable, and I thank you so much. You spent the last hour with us. Bye, ladies.
Thank you.